Good morning, Vinita. Thank you for joining in today's interview session. How are you doing today?
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm doing fine today.
Great. So, Vinita, before we proceed, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Vinita Srivastav. Currently, I'm working at Capgemini as a data analyst. Basically, my task is to collect the data from the different POCs, point of contact of the various countries, and retrieve the data from the database and upload the data on the tool. And basically, I'm residing in Noida and belong to Bihar. As per my hobby, I like to watch television and make surfing and playing badminton. Thank you. That's all about it.
That's great. So, let's talk about your project more on a deeper side. Okay. So, can you explain what is the domain that you are working and what are your daily tasks look like?
Okay. What is my daily task? I used to receive the data from the point of contact. I'm handling the 5 countries, including Vietnam, Singapore, America, Japan. And I used to receive the data from these countries from the various points of contact from the database in the form of invoices. Basically, I work on the project which is used to retrieve the data of the carbon which is emitted from the Capgemini center. So from the entire world. They used to means how much carbon is emitted from the particular Capgemini office. We used to receive the carbon data from the various offices and retrieve this data by using the various my Excel files on the macro. We just upload this data on these files, working files. We have the various working files, and you upload the data on these working files, and we have the tool like a prod and pre-prod. And after the after the analysis of the data, what amount of the carbon is emitted from the particular office, we used to upload this data on the pre-prod. Pre-prod is the pre-production tool. Means how much carbon is emitted from the Capgemini office, how much waste is generated from the particular office. This data is uploaded on the pre-prod tool, and pre-prod tool gives the result means exact amount of the carbon emission, wastage, and the water consumption. Then we have the one more tool, that is the final tool called the prod, and this data go on the prod, and we used to share this data with the POC. That's all is the task which I do on daily basis.
Okay. So, I believe that you have been writing different queries as well on SQL when you are using such a high volume of data.
Not much use of SQL. Means sometimes we use this SQL for execution of the data. But basically, we work here on the Excel sheet by on using the macro.
Okay, excellent macro. Right. So, talking about any challenging situation you might have faced in your project, can you describe one and how did you overcome it?
Means we can see it challenge for me because I don't have the depth knowledge of macro. So sometimes I face the means we used to create the reports on the monthly basis, weekly basis to share this report with the POC. Sometimes I used to write the code on the macro to create some reports to share with the POCs. So I don't have that much knowledge of the macro. So means Capgemini has provided us the Udemy course to learn these macro and Excel from that. So I'm trying to learn these things and implement while creating the report. So not saying it's actually I'm learning the macro, not as much perfect.
Okay, fine. So, for example, since you are working in a team, right? And if there is any kind of conflict with any of your team members, how will you deal in such kind of a situation?
If I am in this kind of situation, I directly contact to my colleague. I always try to sort out what is the problem behind this situation. If there is a mistake from my end, or there is any confusion or misconception between us. So I always try to find the real issue behind these conflicts. I always prefer to talk directly to that person.
Okay. Suppose if I have to ask you that you need to learn a different technology together with the technology that you are working on, because there is a project which is in pipeline. You need to work on that project as well. So how will you ensure that you are learning the other technology and also not affecting the productivity of yourself in this project? How will you manage both the things together?
Yeah, means yeah, we have the lots of tasks to do in daily work, but we have weekend all as well. Means I try to always learn the new things in the weekend, and whenever I get the opportunity and whenever I get the time to read something new to enhance my knowledge or to means upgrade myself by learning the new tools, I always try to find the time in weekend, and whenever I get free, I do the study.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years of time?
Yeah, means I always have expectation they reach a top position, top firm. And I want to achieve a good position in the top company.
Good positions can be anything, right? Do you have any particular position in your mind?
Yeah, like VP. I always inspired by the this last company I was working in EXL, and I was very much inspired by my VP. The way he interacted with the employees, the way he he deliver his speech among the employees. So I always try to do I always try to handle or manage the entire as a VP.
Okay, so do you think that in 5 years of experience, can you reach to the position of a VP?
Nothing is impossible. Nothing is. I always believe in hard labor. If I try to do, and if I have determination to achieve this post, definitely I'll do.
Okay, awesome. So we'll start with the technical round now. Okay, if you want to have a glass of water in between, you can have.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Amir.
Awesome. So, right. So can you tell me the difference between delete and truncate statements?
Yeah, delete is a DML command, whereas truncate is sorry, my bad. Delete is a DDL command, whereas truncate is a DML command. In delete, we can delete the data one by one, means one row, and whereas in truncate, we delete the entire data in one go. And in delete case, rollback is possible, whereas in truncate, there is no rollback.
Okay. So do you know which one is much more important in terms to performance optimization of SQL queries?
Yeah, if we are talking about the performance optimization, means truncate is good because truncate optimization, truncate performs the operation very fast, while as delete takes time.
Okay. So what do you mean by a table and field in SQL?
Yeah, table is basically a collection of data which is stored in a database in the form of rows and columns, whereas field is basically it belongs to a column which is stored the single piece of data.
Okay. So do you know the difference between primary and foreign key? And
Yeah.
can you explain with an example? It will be better.
Yeah, yeah. Primary key basically is a key used to identify the unique records in the table or database, whereas a foreign key is a key which is used to link the two tables together. If you're talking about the example, if you are having a table including employee ID, employee name, and employee job in the primary table, we have a primary key. ID is the specific key which is used to link with the foreign key. Foreign key is also having the column of the ID, which having the same ID with the primary key.
Okay, Vinita, can you tell me what is different between unique key and primary key?
Yeah, unique key and primary key. Unique key used to identify the unique records from the table. It also comprises the null value, whereas primary key is also used to identify the unique value, but it doesn't comprises the null values.
Okay, and difference between and in operator?
And an in operator.
In and between.
Okay. Between operator is used to specify the values within a range, whereas in operator is used to specify the values from the value list.
Okay, what is meant by view in SQL
Uh,
Server?
yeah, view is basically means a temporary table where which is we used to retrieve the data from the database as per the requirement.
Great. Can you open SSMS and can you share your page, please?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes. So can you please write a query displaying name employee starting with A? You have a table already, employee name of table. So can you please write the query?
Please pardon.
You need to write a query to display the name of employee starting with A.
Starting with a
A, right? You have an table in M. Yes.
let me check
Correct.
where is this table. Yeah.
Employee EMP table would be there already. You have created earlier, right?
Yes, I have.
Correct.
Here I have F name, so I'm using the F name.
Okay.
Starting with
A.
A.
Correct.
But I think there is no
Right. There is no A. You can give T, starting with T.
Yeah, we have found Tom and
Okay.
Paul.
Great. Next, what are the different type of joins?
There are 4 types of joins: inner join, left join, right join, and outer join.
Okay. And what about self join? What is the self join?
Self join, cross join is also. self join, cross join. This basically there are four important joins mostly used in SQL. That is the inner join, left join, right join, and
Can you
outer join.
please can you please write down the syntax for self join?
Self join, yes. Yes. Just give me a moment.
Okay, Vinita. Okay, no worries. I will have a next question. What are the constraints available in SQL?
Constraint, basically constraint are the state of the rules which imposed while deleting, manipulating, or editing any data from the database. Constraint comprises prime constraint. Yeah. So, uh, identity. Uh, just give me a second for reminding. Mm, yeah, identity key, primary key, foreign key, unique key, coalesce, null value, all are constant. Not a coalesce is not a constant. Basically, primary key, foreign key, unique key, check key, identity key, all these are constants. Sorry, please pardon me, your voice is not audible.
Yeah, what is check key? Can you please show us how we can enforce the check key?
Check key.
Right.
I have to write the syntax only or entire creating table or
Yeah, you can explain what is a check key, where do we use, and you can write the syntax to enforce the check key.
okay, check key is basically used to limit the values. If you are having a column and a column comprises the age, we can also apply here the check key. Means we can limit the value of the age. And
And
here I'm
yeah, can you alter this table and enforce the check key?
Yeah. Means
See
by
the column,
creating
which column
table
do we
or
have?
directly I can apply.
Whichever is convenient for you, please, you can, write that syntax.
Okay. No problem. I'm taking the same date. Means already I have the column.
You will have age column, you can enforce the check key to age column.
Yeah, I have applied the check constant in the age column.
Okay, yeah, you can stop this sharing screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me what is difference between or and AND operator?
Or and
Yes,
operator.
yes. Yeah.
Basically, and or operator is a logical operator. In all case, either one condition is true, but in and case, both the condition must be true.
What is null value?
Null value is basically a field which is left blank while creating the table in the data with no value.
Okay. Is 0, can I consider it as a null?
No, zero can't be null. Means it has some specific value. Zero is some specific value, but null considers it means it is only a space.
Great. Okay, and what is difference between rename and alias?
Yeah, rename is the permanent of the table, which is means which is created. Name is the permanent name of the table, whereas alias is the temporary name of the table or column, which is created as per our requirement.
Okay. How to avoid duplicate record in query?
To avoid the duplicate records in a query, we use the distinct functions. Distinct function basically identifies unique records.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So, Benita, can you explain the difference between where and having?
Where and having clause.
Right, clause.
Okay. Where is basically a data type, whereas having is a clause. You are talking about the where and having.
Yes, where and having.
Yeah, where is a data type, whereas having is a clause used with the aggregate function, and where is a data type which is used while creating the table.
Can you give an example of both these two?
Yeah. In where case, if we are creating any table, we used to assign any, if we are using the employee name, we used to assign the employee name with a var with the length, with the variable string length. And having clause is used with the aggregate function. If we talk about the number of the employees in a company, then we use the select count star group by function having employee name, employee job like HR.
Okay, so have you worked on any stored procedure in creating any stored procedure in your project?
Not that much.
So do you know what is a stored procedure?
Yeah, I have knowledge of it. Stored procedure is which can be saved for the further use, which can be used requirement.
Okay, and what can be the syntax of the stored procedure? Can you share your screen and write one?
Yeah, just give me. Yeah, if you want to change employee first, if you want to change, if you are using initially, we are using while creating the table, we are using the first name as F name. Now I'm renaming this F name to the first name. Okay.
Okay, yeah, good one. Can you debug the problem?
Binita,
Yeah.
you also need to mention the table name. Table dot F name.
Okay.
No, not from. This F name you are referring to which table? So suppose if you are referring to employee, so employee dot F name. Incorrect syntax. Okay, no issues. Employee dot the name of column that you want to change, comma, then employee dot first name, whatever you want to change.
No, it won't work. So it's employee table, the table name dot the column that you want to change,
Correct.
comma, the table name dot to what you want to change.
Means first the table, the existing table name here will be,
Yeah.
or the name which I want to change.
Mm-hmm. I think we can
You
explore
can.
this later. Yeah, we'll
Ah,
do this on the feedback side. It's fine. You
correct.
can stop sharing your screen now. Right. So we are done with the round, Vinita. Do you have any question to any one of us?
No, basically, I want feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be sharing the feedback in detail, so don't worry on that. So anyways, thank you for joining in once again, Vinita, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you so much.